the Grand Homecoming, or, if you will, this piece of writing is also called Homesick Cure, or The Vacation's Ending, by Colonel Matt Prophet. I've traveled across this great land. I've taken pretty much every misdirection you can think of. I saw both great oceans. I have stuck my feet in both of them. And I've also seen both, or northern and southern borders, and I have crossed them both. From Cozumel, Mexico, to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. My traveling continues to run wild. I've conquered the worms in the Big Apple. I have dined with our Native American brothers in Flagstaff, Arizona, of the Navajo Nation. I've seen the plains. I've seen the western plains of the Midwest and Elk Creek, Nebraska, where I understand my family, my mother's side, is from. And I've also met 2 Californian cities with sand in them. The Golden Gate Bridge of the city by the bay in San Francisco, and the 619 natives in San Diego, or Rey Mysterio town. I've indeed walked through the Valley of Death in California, and I've also ran twice up the same steps that Rocky ran up at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. I've been as far north as Juneau in The Last Frontier, all the way south to Key West, Florida, of the Florida Keys. And I've also, before they closed it, been to Cuba, danced with the Haitians in Labadee, took in a tan in Montego Bay, and for about 90 minutes, I sat on a throne in Nassau, at a throne in Atlantis, and became king of the Gulf. I drank some cheap beer in Bar Harbor, Maine. I visited 2 different islands. As I said, New York City, and I've also visited in the Carolinas at Hilton Head Island. I've been to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., with our ROTC unit. We stayed on the barracks at Quantico that trip. I had to pay my respects at Arlington. The changing of the guard was also nice, peaceful, moving, sad, but at the same time, amazing. I dined with Greeks in Tarpon Springs, Florida. I also dined some wild game in Danville, Kentucky. I've been to big cities and small villages, from New York City to Rapid Hash, Kentucky, all the way down to a very rural village of about 60 people in Steiner, Nebraska. I've also visited the city of Pawnee City, home of a sleeveless redneck comedian famous for getting her done. Here's to you, Larry. There's still many more places left on my bucket list. I still wish to see. However, there's one thing on my ever-growing bucket list that I will keep at last, and at the very last thing I want to see, which I look forward to after every trip, and that is coming home. There's a lot of places I've always wanted to go, but after like 5 days, I tend to get homesick. Home, they say, is where the heart is. Home is where you hang your hat. Home is where you kick your shoes off. Home is where you lay your head down. You can take the home from the boy, but you can never, ever take the boy from his home. As Bon Jovi said, these are my streets. This is the only life I have ever known. A hometown boy of Louisville, Kentucky, born a Rolling Stone. I wish to see more of this wild, wonderful, crazy world of ours. I would like to visit more places. From learning about Greek mythology in Athens to doing a mass in Vatican City. I wish to tour palaces. I wish to maybe tour the royal kingdom of the Orient, such as Tokyo, Beijing, China, and maybe take a skiing trip in Nepal, down a mountain. I would also like to do a helicopter trip over K2 and Everest, or take a safari, or take a nature trip to the Kenyan Preserve, the Masai Mara over in Kenya. Take a tour of South Africa. In 2026, I wish to see the World Cup here in North America. I wish to see Team USA bring home the gold in our home country. I would like to save up to go to Los Angeles to see the Olympics when they come here that year, in 4 years. So many sporting events I would like to do. You got the Super Bowl. Do one game of the NBA Finals. I've done some NCAA tournament games, but I wish to see a championship game. I would like to take one game of the World Series, even one game of the NBA Finals. I've never seen a football game at South Bend, but I've seen the Fighting Irish come down here to L&N Stadium and lose, mind you. I've been to 2 bowl games. Both of the times Kentucky won. 2019 against Penn State, and 2022 over Iowa. Or maybe 2021, I don't remember. There's several places I still wish to go, but you can't beat taking me home. I've been to a few bar rescue locations. Bamboo Beach Tiki Bar in Hollywood, Florida. I've also been to Jack's FD in New York, and down to Tarpon Springs at the Bridge Lounge. You listening, Phil? I've also had the pleasure of staying in my hometown, since we're on the subject, Phil, and listening to Adam Sandler live in concert at the KFC Yum Center. I've already paid you back for those tickets, Phil. Thank you very much, my brother. I've seen and done many things, from the Badlands to Yellowstone National Park to Mammoth Cave to the Everglades to the Carolinas For the Carolinas, the coast of them, all the way to the coast of California. From Juneau, Alaska, to Flagstaff and Phoenix. From Tarpon Springs, Florida, to Bar Harbor, Maine, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, you name it. I've already done it to some extent. I will be going to some of these. Coach Howard said the only variable is time. But don't you worry. As Ernie said, and I quote, I would like to visit the moon. And as he also said, so if I should visit the moon, I will dance on a moonbeam, and then I would make a wish on a star. I wish I was home once again. I would like to look down at the earth from above, but then I miss all the places and family I would love. So though I may go, I will be coming home soon. Because I don't want to live on the moon. I would like to visit the jungle and hear the lions roar. And if I had the chance, go back in time and visit a dinosaur. Oh, there's so many strange places I wish to be. But I don't want to stay there permanently. No, I don't want to live on the moon. That would be the ultimate cure for homesickness. Is coming home. The very last place I want to go on my bucket list is I want to go home. Oh, how I want to go home. The end. Like, comment, subscribe. This is Rhino. I am the Artful Rhino. Thank you for listening. Click that notification bell. I'm going to be doing more of these thoughts. I love you guys. We are out of here.